The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is kind of known for being a mixed game. Or at least it was. Now, is it still a mixed game? Is it good now? Is it bad now? Well, if you're a Christian, you're wondering, hey, should I pick up this game and play it? Well, let me help you out with providing some pros and cons. Hello and welcome to Hidden Values, the show where I, Noah Price, your Christian gamer, also known as Hero Scrub, that's on my Let's Play channel. I like to provide the awareness around video games that we play, because, you know, Christians, we gotta protect ourselves. So some awareness of the games we play is kind of important. But this specifically, this pros and cons video is more going to be looking at should you buy this game. We're going to look at a few pros and a few cons, and then maybe even talk about some price points, and then, you know, hopefully you'll know if you should buy this or not. I'm going to take this off even though I love this bokoblin beanie knitted thing, but it's really hot, so let me... Okay, yes, I'm kind of bald. For anyone who is new here, don't worry about this look. It will change hopefully in the future. For those who are returning viewers, don't worry, this will change. If you want to know what happened, go check out this video on my other channel called Hero Scrub that may help you out a little bit. But let's get to the pros and cons. That's the whole point of this video, so I don't want to waste your time. I want to respect it, so let's just get into it. Let's start with the pros, obviously. Why not? The biggest pro is that since this game is a port from the Wii over to the Switch, the controls have changed a bit. This is the biggest point, and this is why a lot of people are saying this is way better now than it ever was. See, a big decisive part of this game when it first originally came out was the motion controls. While the idea of it was really cool, of getting to swing the sword like you really were Link, it turned out to being a lot of shenanigans to a lot of people. A lot of people had trouble doing the controls. And so with this release on the Switch, you have the option of doing motion controls, or you just use the joystick. Personally, I really fell in love with the joystick, and controlling it felt so great. And going back to the reviews of being mixed so much, this was the biggest critical problem that everybody had, was the combat, and because of these gosh darn motion controls. And so with this being an option, which I love, it's an option. It's not just a no, you are forced to just do motion controls, or no, you're forced to just use your joystick. Like, you get to do what you want. If you want to actually swing your sword and see how it works, do it. If you want to use the joystick, do it. The second pro is the game's story itself. Compared to the majority of Zelda games that I've played, I have to say Skyward Sword has some of the most character to it. It's so unique and spunky, and it just adds so much life to its characters. Zelda has way more influence and is more present within the game than we see in any other Zelda game. Link is known as a lazy character, which is a character trait that he doesn't normally have. Yes, sometimes in the games he has something, but for the most part, he's just a mute person that we don't know about. A shell for the viewer, the player, to actually embody and not have a problem with relating with. I actually found this way better to add a little bit of a character to him with his laziness. It adds some reasoning to his behavior and why he acts a certain way, and it just makes him more believable and more of someone that I actually do like. Now, while yes, Legend of Zelda series are known for its side quests being fun and spunky and weird at times, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword has more of the weirder side quests in a good way. Now, this one could kind of be looked at as a pro, but also a con, and that's the exploration of this game. This game kind of has a feeling of Wind Waker, how it has the exploration of exploring the world. In Wind Waker, you explore through riding your boat and swimming to different islands and getting to see little islands here and there and seeing what do they have on it. Sometimes the islands are a hit and miss, sometimes they have something really crazy on it, sometimes it's just maybe some rubies and whatnot. For me, I have to sadly say that it's more of a con than a pro. While it feels great to fly around on your bird, it's great, I really love it. It does feel a lot like somewhat empty, and a lot of the islands you do explore just have a chest, and that's about it. In its case, I think the game does do several different things of having other people flying in the world that you see, different birds and whatnot, to actually kind of make the world a little bit more lived in, and even the sky a little bit more lived in, which I greatly appreciate. Getting into the game's price point, this can kind of be looked at as a pro or a con, depending on your perspective. Now, this game has been roughly priced around $49.99, basically $50 in the USD. And for many, this could be a pro because, hey, Nintendo games in their past, and so far with porting over Wii and Wii U ports over to the Switch, it's normally been still at 60. A lot of people have griped about this of, is this really worth it? Should be knocked down a bit more? And luckily this one is down $10, which, you know, take what you can. The pro to this is that Nintendo doesn't normally do this. Their track record, they normally keep their main IPs, Zelda, locked at $60, and they really don't like to change it. But we do see it at 50, so take it for what you want. Another pro and con that you can kind of see depending on which side you take to this game is the length of the game. This game takes about 27 to 38 hours depending on how you play. If you're just rushing through the content, rushing through the main content, the main story, it'll take around 27 hours. If you want to do the side quests, which I really highly encourage you do, that's a big point of this game. It's its side characters and side stuff that it does to make it feel lived in and weird. Then it's going to take almost 40 hours, which is a lot for a Legend of Zelda game. This is one of the longer ones outside of like Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker. I would say this could be looked at in a good way. You have 38 of content. You have more content, more time to play with the game, more time to explore and have fun. For me, who's on a time crunch of when to get done with these games, it's a little bit of a bummer. For you, Christian, this is actually probably in your favor. Now, as a Christian, when playing through this game, there has been two different moments I witnessed something or come to. There's been two times I ran into some things that kind of irked me as a Christian and kind of was a little bit of a problem. Now, the first one has to do with a side quest character called Beatrix. His side quest has to do with completing other people's side quests. See, if you do it, you get this item called a gratitude crystal. And I won't go too much into it in case you want to experience the story yourself, but basically he is a demon trying to become a human. Obviously this is supposed to be ironic and in a comedic sense, but it still kind of irks me of me helping out a demon as a Christian. That it just doesn't sit well with me. I understand the creators, they're making it try to be a fun little comedic thing. I get that, it still irks me. Now the second one has to do with one of the dungeons. One of the dungeons throughout the game, you have to get normally a boss key. Now in this game, it's a little bit unique in that it's its own little puzzle, jigsaw puzzle thing. But these puzzle pieces are a little bit unique per each dungeon. Now in one of the dungeons, it's kind of made around the image of a Buddhist character. Fittingly, the master key or the boss key or the puzzle piece is in a form of an idol statue. It's literally said idol statue. Again, as a Christian, the idea of just any kind of interaction with the idol creature or idol object I don't like at all. Don't want to deal with that. Don't want to touch that. Don't want to do it. Of course, it's just a representation of a boss key, so it's not too much within the story of causing problems, but it is there. If you want to know more about stuff like this in this game, I will be doing a more big review of this game later on, so look out for that. The final con has to be with the combat. We're back at the combat. See, even though with the gameplay mechanic change of not necessarily having to use motion controls, but you get to use the joystick, I still personally had some trouble with the combat. Now, it's all based about which direction are you going to be slicing, attacking with your sword. It's all based around that, and I still had troubles of just figuring out when I'm supposed to slash a certain way, and it just did kind of turn back into me just slashing randomly and just hoping I get it. Now, yes, it could be mostly on me, but it's still there. I still had a great time with the combat. It's still enjoyable, even with this great mechanic change. So that's more might be on player by player. But should you play this game? I would say probably yes. I think with its second chance on the Switch, I think it's given it a great opportunity to actually become well known. Through my experience of playing this game and streaming it on Hero Scrub, I was amazed about how much character there was, and there wasn't as much talk about this game. When people talk about their favorite Zelda game, this one normally isn't talked that much. And I'm greatly surprised because the storyline and the characters in the story are amazing, and they make the experience and the journey so much better. So I would advise that, yeah, you should probably play this game. This game's a great game, and even though it's at 50, I would still say it's at a good price. Like, it's not too much to Pocket. Pocket? Is that a word? I don't actually know. But that's it for the day. Again, if you liked the video, please leave a like down below and get ready, get excited, all that stuff. You can see down below. Am I looking? Yeah, right side. Right down here, there's a playlist, and it contains this video and the in-depth review of this game as a whole. Once it comes out, it'll be right there. And right above, you'll see a playlist of my live stream series of this game. So if you want to check that out, there you go. But I hope this helped you out at figure out if you should play this game or not. But that's it. Bye.